I love the 1997 movie Yuli's Gold so much. I have it on DVD and Blu-ray. That's how much I love it. It stars Henry Fonda's son, Jane Fonda's brother, and Bridget Fonda's father, Peter Fonda. Sadly enough, he's the least known of the Fonda family, obviously, judging from what I just said. But this one right here really shows how much potential he had as an actor, and just yeah, he didn't really do a whole lot of things that really showed off his range. I, if his dad would have seen it, he would have been so proud of he would have been so proud of his son because what Peter Fonda does in Yuli's Gold, he tackles the role of a lifetime. It's not one of those films. Well, it's not one of those performances where he does a radical transformation like Charlize Theron in Monster, or it's not one of those things where he screams a lot like a lot of people associate with great performances. Nope, this is just a straight up subdued, calm performance, but you can see in his eyes, which are the window to the soul, you can see in his eyes just how deep and psychological this character study really is. Peter Fonda is best known for doing Easy Rider from the 60s, that motorcycle movie with Dennis Hopper and Jack Nicholson. But he really should be best known for Yuli's Gold. I'm not just saying that because I didn't really care for Easy Rider. Yeah, I'm probably the only person in the world that didn't like Easy Rider. Now, Yuli's Gold is a truly fantastic film. I highly recommend that everyone goes around to seeing it. So the movie is about Peter Fonda, who plays a reclusive beekeeper in Florida named Yuli Jackson. He's a former Vietnam War veteran who is the last survivor of his platoon. He's a widower, sorry, and he has custody of his two daughters, one of whom is played by Jessica Biel in her feature film debut. The reason he has custody of his granddaughters is because his son is in jail and his daughter-in-law had abandoned them. So yeah, he's reclusive and yeah, he's really to himself for all those different reasons. One day he gets notice from his son, who's in prison. Like, he gets a phone call saying that his two accomplices, who are free men, have found his wife living in the lower part of Florida. They say for Yuli to go down and pick her up. Yuli does, even though he's reluctant to do so because she was one that walked out on them. The two guys who are named Eddie and Ferris say that in exchange for her freedom, like Yuli takes her. They say that in exchange that he has to find some loot that his son ended up hiding away before he got sent to prison. Yuli doesn't want to, even though he kind of humors them into saying, "Okay, fine, I'll do so." He just simply wants his daughter-in-law to get better so that the other girls can have mother again. So turns out that the mother, who's played by Christine Dunford, whose name in the movie is Helen, is a massive drug addict, mostly on roofies, and yeah, we see her going through massive withdrawal, and she does a fantastic job. This Christine Dunford girl, she's so good. I really wish that she would have won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress that year. That was the year that Kim Basinger won for LA Confidential. But this was simply better. This was simply the better performance. Not saying it was a better film, but it was a better performance. So yeah, the Eddie and Ferris, um, they're pretty dangerous guys. They try to go and take the family hostage, and like that's what they want to do. If Yuli doesn't cooperate, they want to take the family hostage and get all the money that they can as soon as possible. Yeah, the real highlight of the movie is Peter Fonda's performance, obviously. Um, like the way that he's able to hold back so much emotion instead of just letting everything just drain out of him is quite admirable and very well done. I totally loved it. He won the Golden Globe for Best Leading Actor. He didn't win the Oscar. That was the year that Jack Nicholson won for As Good as It Gets, which I understand. Like I love As Good as It Gets. I can see Jack Nicholson winning for that. But if Peter Fonda won for You Lose Gold, wouldn't have been that big of a deal. I would have been okay with it. And the Yuli character is really drawn out is quite exquisite. He has he's like the best beekeeper or like in the entire state, and the way that he's able to tend the bees is quite fascinating. It's quite cool to look at. When he's tending to the bees, it's quite easy, and it kind of reflects him getting a better grasp, a better handle on his family situation, and it's quite good that way. Yeah, this is a really fascinating film. It's quite intense, even though with the crowning jewel of the film, Peter Fonda does not deliver a really booming performance, and that's okay. That's totally fine. I didn't mind it at all. So Peter Fonda gives one of the best subdued calm performances I would say in film history. He's so good in this, and this is a really underrated, obscure movie. I'm going to give this movie 4 stars.